All right, and we're live. What's up, everybody? It's G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. It's going to be episode 337, and we're going to continue the Bayonetta concept art study. And we are moving on to the next design. We just finished this white snakeskin design, and yeah, man, let's move on. So I got this concept art book, and we're just going through all of the many designs that went into creating Bayonetta. And we just finished this one, and we're moving on to this one, which is actually kind of dope, man. We just did a trench coat design that was black on the outside, red on the inside. They have a similar thing going on here where it's black on the outside, like a really dark blood red, like almost like mahogany color on the inside, which is dope. And then, yeah, man, purple stockings, purple. They just threw a bunch of purple in there, and they gave her red hair. So, yeah, this is gonna be interesting to try to tackle the red hair with the red interior, because I'm gonna have to switch those up. But yeah, that's uh, that's what we're gonna do today. I don't have all the time in the world, so I'm going to probably just do the line art. Try to keep these streams as organized as I can, so there's at least like, you know, a thought into the design. So where are we at? Is that the top? Yes, it is. All right. And make sure my hand's not too greasy. I just got done eating and had some beef, and the beef had some grease, man. You wash your hands, you do all that stuff, but you can see it's a little shiny. So I got some oil on my fingers, wash with soap, all that stuff, and still it's like, still a little. All right, got that here. There we go. So let's just scroll this stuff in. Shoulders. Oh wow. And they got her in this new funky pose, like one I haven't seen anything like it before, so that's cool. So shoulders shifting that way, hips will shift that way. Well, let's there we go. So see if I can move this all the way up. Yeah, it's that way I can keep moving my book up and down like I need. There we go. This might work. So yeah, I got one leg shooting over like that. Go. So we go that way. Oh damn, the knees are together? There we go. That leg got to really crush over that way. And then there we go. I like this pose. You gotta think, man. Homegirl had to draw this so many times. I wonder how much of this is like required for the outfit and how much of it is just like, oh no, I just got tired of drawing her, so I just wanted to draw something unique for this particular design. That's how she was feeling that day. There we go. But yeah, so you see, knees are locked together, toes are pointing at each other. Got the guns on the shoes. There we go. But they don't have the little dangly things on them, so this is still like an earlier design. And yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. And then same thing. Got a gun on this side. Not really gonna see it. Yeah, we're not gonna see the whole gun here. So yeah, just get this stuff in there. Let's aim this foot a little bit more. And yeah, get her calf also in there. Dope. Alright, let's try to get this right now. So there's that, and now it's that. There we go. And get her arms. Does she have the gun in the front? She does. You just can't see it. Ah, maybe I should have put it up some. Fuck it. Let's just let's just do it live. And yeah, she's gripping it. She doesn't have the pinky out. She's not pimping it. There we go. Okay. And this joint is just drop down and chilling. And aimed outwards. Tight. There we go. Alright, and then the hair. Dope. Let's get this jacket going, right? So, and she has, and they went back to the scarf design too. So it kind of cuts all the way down to here, like a super deep V, and there's that. And she has her witch time. Gotta have that witch time. And is it? Nope, it's just pinned. It's just pinned there. Alright. So there's this. And then yeah, she got her sleeves rolled up. Yeah, she's a tough chick. She's a tough chick here. So it's there, and all the catch. Okay. And same thing, rolled up sleeves. And a bit of catch. Now that's interesting. This is why these studies are good, man, because even though like I'm getting fairly familiar with the designs and all this stuff, because this is like part 6, oh, damn near 70. Like this is I'm still learning little things. For instance, like the sleeve pulled up here, and then I wouldn't have known how to have drawn this sleeve in a way that was aesthetically pleasing, whether it's appropriate or proper or not. I don't know whether it's like right, like this is realistic, but to have it so that you could still see the like comes in at the joint, and then it pops out at the bicep, just like the anatomy would, but then it's just accentuated by the sleeve. I wouldn't have known how to draw this part right here that's going around the elbow, how it's tight around here, and then it pops out. Like, I wouldn't have known to do that. Like, in my head, I would have just popped it out here and been like, hey, why does it look wrong? There's like little details like that that I still pick up on when I'm working on these things. And that's kind of the point of me doing all this. This isn't really like a me into Bayonetta thing. Like, obviously I'm into her, but it's like there's like little bits of knowledge here, and that's why it was like important for me to do this study. Like, I'll always remember this now. Like, oh yeah, okay, it'll be tight around the bend, and then once we get around the bend, then it can poof back up if we're dealing with rolled up puffy sleeves. So yeah, I just thought that would be an interesting share. Uh, and they gave her like a big bow tie belt. And so yeah, like for instance, in the previous trench coat design, it wasn't really clear as to how it's connected, you know? Like, you just see these kind of like really sharp Batwing-esque type of fabric or leather jacket or whatever you want, but there's no like buttons or zippers or anything. It's like, how is this thing holding itself together? Maybe, you know, you could say like, oh, the claw hooks are hooking in to the other side of the jacket. That's how it pins itself closed or something like that. And you know, it's just like, hey, how much is for the imagination? How much is other stuff? Like over here, we have like it crosses over, but we have the buttons here, and it's like, oh, okay, definitely the buttons are functioning, you know. So it helps to like kind of make these things. So yeah, I'm only gonna draw half of the sash because her hair comes down. Um, there we go. So we get half of the bow, and then so this is coming this way. All right, that's interesting. Okay, so now this comes all the way down to the gun. So one and two. There we go. There we go. So yeah, there's that, and then this pin coming around all the way down below the gun, so have to be right about there. Okay. All right. And then we have there we go. I love this kind of floral pattern, this kind of floral opening here. It's almost like flower petals. It's so fitting. I love it. I mean, I guess I don't know if Bayo actually had like floral stuff like really involved with her final design. but I like it. And okay, so this is gonna wrap it right around from her hip. There we go. Just like that's going around there. And then yeah, she has like these like whatever down the pant leg, like this kind of seam. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and they threw on the old classic shoe style. I haven't drawn this one in a minute. Where it's like the double cuff around. There we go. There we go. And then yeah, pretty much follows down the middle of her leg. And same thing with this one. And let's do it again. Double cuff, big bottom cuff. Okay. Okay. There we go. There we go. And okay, so yeah, this is all kind of going this way. That's interesting. All this stuff is shooting this way. I wouldn't have thought about it like that. See, that's that's wild. They got some crazy seams on this jacket, but we're gonna let it ride. Um, Now this one's going that way, and that one's going that way, which means we get a back shot, and then same thing over here, back shot, and that joint. Boom. All right, and yeah, let's get her gloves. She's got some mid-length gloves. And yeah, let's get this other joint here. And yeah. There we go. All right. So got the gloves. Well, let me outline the hand at least. Let's There we go. So that way at least her. All right. So at least I'm not losing her hand with all the hip and the gun and all the other lines, the trench coat, all those. Like, yeah. So that way I know where her hands are. So I'll know how to color this. Now, let's get her. Yeah, this is dope. No headband this time. So we just go. Bangs. And yeah. There we go. There's that. And now the droop. See, now this is what's interesting. The jacket is black with this red interior, right? Now she has this red hair that slides into the collar, much like the previous design, how the hair went into the collar. Same thing. She has a pop collar, hair's coming in, but the hair's red also. So you got this red dropping into this red, and they added a part of the design where she has this red scarf, right? So I'm wondering, because what it's looking like, at least from here, is like the red hair might even be a part of the scarf. So it kind of droops, like her hair seems to kind of go this way, right? And so there's that. And then it's going to swerve all the way to the bow. Remember, we cut that off, we only drew half of it. There we go. So you see how the hair, like the hair being pulled up it's going in this direction. It coming down is kind of breaking in this direction as well as swerving, and then the scarf kind of continues that motion, and yeah, it kind of bounces off the collar, runs behind her head. So it's like this. All right. So yeah, it just looks like there's like red scarf, red interior collar, red hair. There's so much red going on in there. It's actually kind of a neat concept. Like, oh, the hair is wrapping around. It also uh, really brings to home the whole her hair is a part of her clothing idea, which is the major thing about her. Okay. And no glasses again. So this leads me to believe it's an older design when they were like first just starting to add the guns to her shoes, like maybe around that time. So how far back do we go for that? So see these earlier designs, they didn't have guns on the shoes. They had guns holstered to her leg, but not guns like a part of her shoes where they're actually like active and they can shoot. Wasn't until about this point that they finally got to it. And I wonder where, like, they had this red string thing, very similar to the red scarf, but it's like a red whatever in the hair. And they really ran with that for a while, throwing it in bow ties, wrapping it around, like making it a part of her hair. It was a neat aesthetic that gave you like a red streak to run down her hair. And yeah, see, oh, one of my favorite designs. That's no wonder I remember it. This is one of my favorite designs that they had for her. She had like a white suit, which was a new concept. These big puffy black velvet gloves, and then this really dark fur coat. It was just giant, and it was like a miniature coat too, because it still stopped at her waist. So it was like this giant puffy coat, puffy velvet gloves, and then this white suit with the something like a pinstriping or ribbing on it. It's a really good design. It's actually one of my favorites still. Like I'm looking at it now and I'm like, okay, man, I still hadn't started using the flesh tone markers on it yet. I was, oh, that's crazy. She looks like a clown here. I should probably go back and redo that. But either way, you can see they gave her a red a red scarf around her neck here. So it like wrapped around her hair and then went down around her neck. So this is the time about the time that I'm thinking that this design that we're working on today was probably made, where you could see like, okay, it's red on red on red, and I don't know. It's just interesting thinking about these things. How the book may not have published all these things like in order. Anyways, let's get back to it. Finish the hair comes down to here and kind of goes this way, and then bring it back around so that way we see. There we go. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 major breaks. 1, 2. Go, and same thing here. There's some breaks, and then yeah, let's get the flow of the shine. I think it's raining outside. I think I heard it just start raining. So if I'm losing part of the stream for a second, or if it gets a little glitchy, I'm sorry. It's the weather, man. It's been there we go. Okay. And yeah, that's basically going to be man. Really has these Yoshitaka Amano eyes over here. And holy shit, they threw earrings on her. It's like they never do that. Okay. Dope. And yeah, that's uh that's gonna be it for this one, man. Like I said, it wasn't gonna be a long episode. We're just gonna get the line art in. We're just gonna break this in. I love drawing these things big, man. This is one of my favorite things that I've been doing. Kind of wish I started earlier, man. I took a 5-year break from drawing. I've been doing nothing but in that time while I was writing. I took 5 years off so I could write a story. Um, Wrote the story, and then as I wrote it, the only drawing I did were like little tiny sketches, like like in these little books I got from like ex-girlfriends and things like that. Uh, so I started making these sketches, and these aren't really all that. You can see like they're lacking in like finding definition and stuff. This is just me as I'm writing, creating characters, and you could see like it was just like these little pencil sketches. I started throwing a little bit of color in there. Sometimes I had like specific colors that I wanted for characters, so I didn't want to forget that. So I threw them in there. But yeah, like I didn't do much drawing in those 5 years. So once I started drawing again, that's when I started streaming last year. So yeah, a lot of my sketches didn't well, they didn't hold up my art as far as like all the traditional stuff from pencils to inks, markers, paints, watercolors, acrylics, and all that other stuff, airbrushing. Like all those skills, it kind of like riding a bike. You don't necessarily forget them, but it's just been a while. So I was kind of scared when I started streaming in the beginning because I was like, oh man, I haven't drawn in forever. And now I feel like after a year for certain, like, and I've been doing the original stuff, those who've been with me for a while. That's actually funny. I just saw his old sketches in here somewhere. Uh, where were they? Were they back here? Yeah, see? I have this guy's sketches here, for instance. This was the original idea for him. I was just drawing this. So all these like little ideas here grew into making something like this. You see what I'm saying? That's why this is actually one of my favorites because I gave him. Oh no, he has the fur over here. But yeah, it's funny how all this stuff comes back around. But yeah, So you can see the difference from like doing 5 years of just like writing and little pencil sketches, how all this stuff comes out, and now it's like, oh, there's like some quality and stuff. So I had to like kind of learn. That's why when I started drawing again in this book, everything was kind of like pencils, color pencils, just starting at the root. Started inking a little bit, but not too much, adding a little bit of color, but not too much. And then I was like, fuck it, let me just jump in and actually start doing this. So, um, and some of you following me have been here for all of that, and I really appreciate it, man. I want to like really thank you and shout outs to you, and um, sticking around and all that stuff. It's super great. Even this, like, it's all pencils with a little bit of the white paint marker, and I don't think there's any inks in here, which is crazy. I was like, God damn, I was doing pencils. Like, I was super scared to jump back into doing art. And then I started inking a bit, but it's all like a little flat. And in order to get the blending right, because I was thinking, like, oh man, I'm not good enough with markers to get the blend right. All this stuff is like a mix of uh, pencils and then marker. And you can kind of see the difference. So yeah, man, I've been dabbling back in all last year, doing a little bit of fan art here and there, and then really working on my own stuff. Even like these first environments that I was working on are all pencil, besides the black ink. So you can see like, okay, just baby steps. So I've slowly over the year started growing back in, and then I started doing these studies because I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do markers, like I really got to do them. And the easiest way for me to do it is not off the top of my head, but to look at references. So I was doing these like little 90-minute things, and then it kind of got me into doing a little more inks. Like I did my first environment with inks, and I was like, oh, okay, I like this result. Um, but there's still like a lot to learn, or a lot to do. Like I'm sure this probably just looks like mush to you, and it's a side effect of just drawing too small. um but yeah, and again, like here we have a mix of pencils and ink, and you know and then me like just playing with the ink alone and being like, hey, like where are my inks at right now? So yeah, man, this is. And then I think these are all markers right here. No, these are color pencils still. Color pencils and black ink and white paint marker. Wow. It took so long, man. It's so disappointing now that I'm looking at it, going back and looking at it. It's like, whoa, come on, man. Why was I so afraid to like dedicate myself with the markers? And yeah, it's just scary streaming and all that stuff. But here, these are definitely markers. I have the pencils laid down and then markers thrown on top, I believe. Could be wrong. But I do want to say that this is marker. And then of course the white paint marker on top, and then black ink and blue ink on the background. I fucking love these pieces. This little set that I did here, I love them. These are characters that I haven't gotten around to drawing yet. These are just statues of them. But yeah, they fucking look badass, huh? And then yeah, then this is basically when I started like, okay, I got the first round of characters done. I had the first round of the first mat, the first round of characters, a little bit of props, like environments. Move forward, and now I'm like, okay, we're diving in with the markers. And now these are all definitely markers. I remember these now. And yeah, it's been a minute. Some stuff still gets done in pencil. Well, actually, this might still be marker. I think it's pencil just because I used a blue drawing pencil as the base. But yeah, yeah, like this is all markers stuff, which is dope, man. And then yeah, that's when I dived in, and now I'm finally getting to where I want it to be. and I can't wait to get back to working on my original stuff because all this time spending away from it is just really getting me like, oh man, I really want to draw my own things, like drawing all this Bayo stuff and making Bayo look cool with, and she has all these great outfits, great clothing, great textures and things like that. I'm just like, oh man. See, like this guy right here would be this character. So you can see the pencil sketch, like, you know, where I was, where I am. And it's like, okay, just bringing them to life. Just bringing them to life. Man, he really does look younger here. I can't believe I actually did that. Like, he's supposed to be younger here. And then he gets a little bit older. And then you could even see how the pencil sketches, like I have this here, but it's still like really rough looking. It looks super dope. Like I'm looking at this, I'm like, holy shit, I want to draw that. But this is basically me taking all these kind of profile shots or portraits, and then really just fleshing out the outfit that he's wearing. You know, a lot of these are dope. I really think this one's a strong outfit right here. Got him a wrestling belt. So stupid. But yeah, I like this. You know, can't wait to get back to working on my characters. And yeah, again, here's a little bit more of that. And then did a little cockpit study, airplane study. These were fun. And then yeah, him when he's older later on. Yeah, and then that was back in August. And yeah, went in, started doing the gun study because I just really needed to study weapons a little bit because I'm gonna end up drawing them a lot. And then I just had the urge, man. The urge just hit me. Like I knew it was only a matter of time, like a ticking time bomb. Ever since I bought uh, this concept book, like you know, when the mood hits, sort of situation. So it was like, okay, I just did the gun study. I still want to do some more studies because it felt like it was time to, and that's where we're at today. And yeah, so I want to thank you all for sticking around, and any newcomers who watch these videos who are like, oh, what's this guy doing? He's fucking nuts, man. Uh, yeah, man, welcome. And yeah, follow, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I got links in my bio to all my social media. You know what I mean? We could link up there. And yeah, man, if you're someone who like really appreciates everything that's happening here, and you like what you see and all that, like you could definitely see the difference between studies and finished work. Um, you can get commissions from me. I'm on Fiverr, and but I would definitely suggest joining my Patreon. You can get commissions from me on Patreon, and depending on the tier list that you choose, you get a really big commission, or you get smaller ones for other ones. It's all like square inch based. So so yeah, man, definitely got some for everybody. So if you have like original characters, or you just have favorite characters that you want to see me kind of draw in my style, like I could do that. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video, man. This one worked out. It worked out well. Oh yeah, that's what I'm missing. Her jacket on this side. There we go. There we go. Make sure you get those. And how does... Where's that line? Oh yeah, there's that line. Yeah, let me start getting this in now. Oh no, not you. Yeah. I guess it's probably best just to get rid of these lines now, right? And yeah, that way all this will be dry by the time I work on it. There we go. But yeah, so maybe you wanna. But yeah, like I was saying, if you have original characters you want me to draw for you, hit up the Patreon. Or if you just want to see my style drawing your favorite character, like hit me up for that as well. I'm down. I love all challenges and all that other stuff. You like all that stuff is cool. So, anyways, I'm G Mr. Drew at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. GMrDrew.art, my website. Go check it out. You can contact me through there. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, man. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Peace.